Okay. All right. So I'm watching this video right here. Phil Jackson comment on Scottie Pippen's game. Now let me say this: Scottie Pippen is doing all of this, and I think Charles Barkley, who has to be one of the most insightful guys when it comes to the sport of basketball, just common sense wise. People give Charles Barkley a lot of flack for some of the things he says, some of the things he does, but Charles Barkley is very on point with a lot of what he says. Somebody said it best. I don't know who said it best, but somebody said it best that I read. They said Charles Barkley is either on point, pinpoint accuracy, or he is so far off the mark, you wonder why the hell has the job that he has. So, you know, because I knew all of this, everything that Scottie is doing now was about his book that's coming out. And I think the reason why he's putting the book out is because in Scottie's mind, somebody else said this. Somebody else said that in Scottie's mind, even though he's being considered one of the greatest basketball players of all time, in his mind, he still isn't getting the recognition that he feels he deserves. He still feels unappreciated, even though Scottie Pippen is one of the most notable players in basketball history. When people say Scottie Pippen, there's no mistaking who you're talking about. So it's not like Scottie goes unnoticed. It's that for some reason, it's like a validation thing, you know? And I feel like this book is his attempt to try to seek validation. You know, I think Scottie has a lot of emotional issues that he's trying to work through, that he had to deal with, and he's trying to work through it. And I think what made it worse for Scottie was the relationship with his wife and all the stuff that she put him through. I think Scottie is a decent guy. I just think that he doesn't know how to handle the stress that other people put him through. He doesn't know how to filter things out and, you know, have like selective hearing. He hears everything and he takes everything so personally. I can relate to that because I'm the same way. I take everything personally, you know, but I know how to process those emotions better. I don't think Scottie has learned how to process those emotions. It looked like what he's done almost his entire life was he avoided those feelings. He tried to ignore them, but they never went anywhere, you know? And now they're coming out, and this book is his way of cathartically trying to get all that out, I guess. But he's, like somebody said, he's burning every bridge on his way to this book, and he doesn't need to do any of it, but he's doing it. And I mean, I'm wishing the best for him. I hope he tries to mend some fences, because the things that he said about Phil Jackson, the things that all these things that he's feeling, I think he just needs to tone it down and try to gather himself. But that's Scottie. But back to what I'm saying. All right. So I was watching this video, and it's Phil Jackson commenting on Scottie Pippen's game. And I'm pretty sure this was after Michael Jordan retired the first time, when he went to play baseball. And, you know, he had to get Scottie in the right mindset for the season to be the best player on the team. So for anybody that knows what a Freudian slip is when you're thinking something, subconsciously you're thinking something. You have a certain thought or a certain belief, and without you even noticing, it comes out. You know, it's like saying what your mind truly believes, even if you didn't mean to say it, right? And while I'm watching this, he's explaining who Scottie is as a player versus who Michael is. But let's hear it.
It's because Scottie's been here for the last 2 years. Michael hasn't been.
But Jordan is Jordan. He's bigger than...
Yeah, but see, Scottie is such an unselfish player. He's the greatest.
I don't know if you caught that. But for a second, Phil Jackson said he's such an unselfish player. Let's go back to listen to it again.
It's because Scottie's been here for the last 2 years. Michael hasn't been.
But Jordan is Jordan. He's
Well,
bigger than.
Yeah, but see, Scotty is such an unselfish player. He's the greatest all-around player in the.
Now, this could be me looking into this. Sure, I get it. But what if this is what he feels about Jordan? I'm not saying he doesn't respect Jordan. I'm not saying he doesn't think Jordan is a great player. But when you watch Jordan play before Phil got there, when you watch Jordan play, when you, like, the stories that came out, like, Jordan came off as a bit of a punk, not like a punk like he's scared, like a punk like a thug. You remember those comments that Phil had back? What was it, 2011, 2012, where he said nobody needs to like, I'm paraphrasing, nobody needs to have posses at the game or whatever, and people like, oh my God, he's such a racist, right? So punk is a way for older people to say he's a bad seed, or he's no good, or something like that. Pretty much a thug, right? So what if that's the way he really feels about Jordan? When he got to the Bulls, he saw Jordan as nothing but an unselfish, egotistical punk, which some people would say. There are players that came out and said so much that Jordan was nothing but was nothing but a selfish punk. You know, he was nothing but an asshole, you know, that got off on dominating other men, you know, like he got off on that. He even went so far as to create drama just so he could have a reason to demean somebody, you know, whether it was his play or whether it was his words. And I think, and I'm starting to believe that maybe Phil Jackson, because we all know, because Jordan said it, Phil Jackson was a huge part of Jordan's transition from one of the greatest scorers of all time to the greatest basketball player we've ever seen, where he was able to put everything together and lead his team to 6 championships in 8 years. So I don't know. Tell me what you think. I think that Phil Jackson had a Freudian slip here. You know, he felt a certain way about Jordan. I honestly believe so. And because, to be honest, when you go back and you watch the Last Dance documentary, I remember Phil Jackson saying that he felt like he had a lot in common with Dennis, where people took shots at Phil as some kind of quack or some shit like that with the whole Zen thing. You know, like, people are still taking shots at Phil. But I don't know. That's just my thoughts, man. Tell me what y'all think, bro.